Welcome to InvestEd. Welcome sa InvestEd. So yung company na analyze natin at bibigyan natin ng review ay ang company na BPI. So sa pag-a-analyze, pagre-review ng stocks, magkakaroon tayo ng idea kung ano yung strength and weaknesses ng company, kung maganda ba yung kanyang management, maganda ba yung kanyang moat, kaya niya bang masustain yung utang niya, okay? And also, malalaman natin sa pagre-review at pag-a-analyze dito sa video na to, malalaman natin kung ano yung intrinsic value ng company. Steps by steps natin siyang kinukuha yung intrinsic value ng company. So lahat-lahat ng yan pagsasama-sama natin sa isang video para makabuo tayo ng matibay na pundasyon at matibay na konklusyon sa pag-i-invest natin sa stock market. So kung ready na kayo, let's start and see you on the other side. Welcome guys sa channel natin. So dito binabahagi ko yung 7 years of experience ko sa pag-trade ng stocks and Forex and also sa pag-invest ko sa stock market. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matututunan sa channel na ito. So maraming salamat!
Together with its subsidiaries, provides various financial products and solutions to retail and corporate clients in the Philippines. It operates through consumer banking, corporate banking, and investment banking segments. The consumer banking segment offers deposit taking and servicing, and consumer lending, such as home mortgages, auto loans, and credit card finance, as well as remittance services to individual and retail markets. The corporate banking segment provides deposit taking and servicing, loan facilities, leasing, trade, and cash management to corporate and institutional customers, such as high-end corporations and various middle-market clients. The investment banking segment offers corporate finance, securities distribution, asset management, trust and fiduciary services, as well as proprietary trading and investment activities. The company also provides financing, securities dealer, investment management, land holding, operations management, business systems, foreign exchange, financial management consultancy, pre-need, non-life insurance, leasing, and rental services. As of December 31st, 2019, it operated 1,167 branches and 2,822 ATMs. The company also serves its customers through alternative electronic banking channels, such as telephone, mobile phone, and the Internet. Bank of the Philippine Islands was founded in 1851 and is headquartered in Makati City, the Philippines.
So welcome sa market performance ni BPI. For the past 7 days, nag-return si BPI ng negative 3.1% and yung industries na kinabibilangan ni BPI nag-return ng 0.3% and the Philippine market down by 0.9%. So kung compare natin yung kanyang return versus industries, nasa green flag tayo sa kanya because BPI exceeds the Philippine industry which returned a negative 34.5% over the past year. And also return of BPI versus the market, BPI underperformed the Philippine market which returned a negative 26.1% over the past year. Okay, this price to earnings ratio ni BPI. Kung nakikita natin dito, comparing to the PE ratio of BPI versus industry, BPI is poor value based on its PE ratio compared to the Philippine industries na mayroong 5.3%. While the BPI PE ratio ay nasa 10.7, right? And also comparing to the PE ratio of BPI versus the market, BPI is a good value based on its PE ratio compared to the Philippine market na mayroong 13. In terms of PEG ratio kay BPI, BPI is a good value based on its PEG ratio na mayroong 0.6, no? So nakikita natin na mas mababa siya kaysa sa 1, ibig sabihin, in terms of price to book ratio alone, kaya natin nasabi na good value based siya, it is considered a undervalue stocks. And in terms of price to book ratio ni BPI, nakikita natin dito, comparing to Philippine industries na kinabibilangan niya na mayroong 0.6 average price to book ratio while the BPI ay mayroong 1. So in terms of price to book ratio, BPI is overvalue based on price to book ratio alone. Kasi in terms of future growth ni BPI, based sa nahanap natin, based sa 12 analysts, yung forecasted annual performance of the next in the next 1 to 3 years of BPI based on 12 analysts ay merong earnings na 18.2% ng annual earnings growth. Kasi in terms of earnings versus savings rate, BPI is forecast to grow 18.2% per year, is above the savings rate of the Philippines na merong 5.1 lang. So, sa mga hindi nakakala ko ng savings rate, ito yung rate of bond ng Pilipinas. So, mas mataas pa rin yung forecasted annual earnings ni BPI. Good, no, na makita natin. And in terms of earnings versus market, sa red flag tayo sa kanya because BPI earnings are forecast to grow slower than the Philippine market na mayroong 28% per year, while yung forecasted ni BPI nasa 18% lang. So, in terms of high growth earnings, BPI earnings are forecasted to grow but not significantly. And in terms of revenue versus market, red flag din tayo sa kanya because BPI revenue is forecast to grow slower than the Philippine market na mayroong 12% per year, while the revenue growth forecasted of BPI nasa 7.7% lang. And in terms of high growth revenue, nasa red flag din also tayo sa kanya because BPI revenue is forecast to grow slower than 20% per year. This is the future return on equity ni BPI, no? So nakikita natin dito na BPI return on equity is forecasted to be low in 3 years time na mayroong 10% ROE niya, no, return on equity in 3 years time. And the industries na kinabibilangan niya ay merong 9.6%. So nakikita natin na mas mataas pa rin yung kay BPI return on equity forecasted, no? Mababa siya, no? Mababa in terms of future return on equity. Okay, guys? In terms of past performance of BPI, natin dito, over the past 5 years, nag-return si BPI ng 7.9% annual earnings growth. And also, no, this the earnings and revenue history ni BPI. Nakikita natin dito from 2013 na merong siyang revenue na 51.96 billion pesos and earnings na 18.90 billion pesos. And merong profit margin na 36.4%. Okay? And now, kung titignan natin dito in June 30, 2020, no, meron siyang revenue na 83.7 billion pesos per year and earnings na 26.7 billion pesos a year. And merong profit margin na 31.9 profit margin. So in terms of return on equity ni BPI ngayon, no, nakikita natin dito na BPI return on equity is considered low. Kasi nakikita natin na meron siyang return on equity na 9.6% while the industries na kinabibilangan niya ay meron din 9.6%. Okay? Kasi itong return on equity, no, ang ibig sabihin lang nito, kung gaano kagaling yung management to handle others people's money. And also, in return on asset ni BPI, nakikita natin dito na company ROA or return on assets ay merong 1.2% while the industries na kinabibilangan niya merong 1.1%. Okay, guys? So, ang ibig sabihin nitong return on asset, no, ito yung kita ng company compare sa kanyang ari-arian. Okay? The balance sheet is snapshot of BPI. So, kung mapapansin natin dito yung financial health ni BPI, no, from asset level, nasa green flag din tayo sa kanya because BPI asset to equity ratio ay merong 8 times. It is considered low. Okay? So, bakit natin nasabi na low, no? Kasi yung kanyang asset to equity ratio ay nasa 8. So, pag 10 pababa yung kanyang asset to equity ratio, ibig sabihin nun, it is considered a low, no? So, ano ibig sabihin itong asset to equity ratio? It measures how much company financing its operation through its debt versus their wholly owned fund. Okay? So, the higher the ratio, the more debt the company uses to fund its operations. So, yun lamang yun, no? So, in terms of allowance for bad loans naman kay BPI, no, nakikita natin dito na BPI has a sufficient allowance of bad loans. Okay? So, bakit natin nasabi na sufficient ang kanyang allowance of bad loans, no? Kasi, gusto natin makita dito sa kanyang allowance of bad loans, no? 100 pataas, ibig sabihin nun, it is a sufficient allowance of bad loans. So, nakikita natin dito, yung kanyang allowance of bad loans ay nasa 105%. Okay? So, anong ibig sabihin ng allowance for bad loans? Okay? So, mga hindi pa nakakaalam, no? So meaning nito is a reserve to account for possible future losses from loans. High allowance ratio means the bank can withstand future losses. And now, in terms of low risk liabilities natin sa kanya, nasa green flag din also tayo sa kanya because BPI, merong 89% of BPI liabilities are made up of primarily low risk sources of funding, no? So, ito ang ibig sabihin ng low risk liabilities, okay? Yung low risk of liabilities o low risk liabilities, yung customer deposit are the primary source of funding, which is less risky than borrowing externally. Okay, guys? So, in terms of loan level natin kay BPI, no, nasa green flag din also tayo sa kanya because BPI has an appropriate level of loans to asset ratio na mayroong 65%. Bakit natin nasabing appropriate, no? A loan to asset ratio below 100%, it is considered a good loan to asset ratio. Okay? So, ano ibig sabihin naman ng loan to asset ratio para lalo nating maintindihan? Okay, guys? The meaning nito, it is measures of level of banks outstanding loans to its total assets. High loans to asset ratio could mean higher risk because loans are less liquid than other financial assets. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin. Okay, guys? So, in terms of low risk deposit natin kay BPI, so nasa green flag din also tayo sa kanya because BPI loans to deposit ratio ay merong 83% is also appropriate. So, bakit natin nasabing appropriate, no? Yung kanyang low risk deposit. A loan to deposit ratio below 125%, it is considered a good, no? So, loan to deposit ratio, ang meaning lang nito, measures a bank liquidity by comparing its total loans to its total deposits. If the ratio is too high, the bank may not have enough liquidity to cover any unforeseen funding, no? Any unforeseen funding requirements. Okay, guys? So, in short, loan to deposit ratio, ang meaning lang yan is yung liquidity ng bangko. Okay, guys? So, in terms of level of bad loans naman natin sa kanya, na nasa green flag din tayo sa kanya or green zone because BPI has an appropriate level of bad loans na merong 1.7%. Okay? So, bakit natin nasabi na appropriate siya? Because a bad loan ratio of 2% pababa, it is considered a low level of bad loans. Okay, so, anong ibig sabihin ng bad loans, no? Para mas lalo natin maintindihan also. This a loan or a portion of a loan likely to be paid back by debtors. So, a high bad loans ratio requires greater loans provisions and then a bank profitability. Okay? So, in short, no, yung bad loans, ito yung mga nangungutang sa bangko na hindi na nila nababayaran yung kanilang utang, no? Ito yon, no? Pag mataas yung kanilang, syempre, mas mataas yung kanilang bad loan, so medyo delikado yan, no? Yun nun, hindi nakapagbayad sa kanila ng kanilang mga utang. Okay, guys? Okay, so in terms of dividend kay BPI, na nakikita natin dito, yung kanyang current dividend yield ay mayroong 2.8% of current dividend yield, no? So, comparing to the market bottom of 25% na mayroong average na 1.6%, and market top 25% average na merong 4.6%. Dito na BPI dividend is higher than the bottom 25% of dividend payers in the Philippine market. Okay? And comparing to the average industries ay merong 2.8 din, no? So inline siya sa ating kay BPI, inline siya sa industries, no? In terms of current dividend yield, and yung forecast in 3 years kay BPI meron 2.8 also. This the stability growth payments of BPI, no, nakikita natin dito from 2009 meron siyang dividend yield na binibigay na 3.8% per year and dividend per share na binibigay na 1.8 pesos dividend per share. Okay? And kung titingnan natin dito, no, sa September 26, 2020, meron siyang dividend yield na 2.8 and dividend per share na 1.8 pa rin. Okay, guys? Kasi in terms of stable dividend, no, BPI dividend per share has been stable for the past 10 years. Growing dividend naman, nasa ano naman tayo sa kanya, no, nasa red flag because BPI dividend payments have not increased over the past 10 years. Okay, so stable lang siya. And kung titignan natin dito yung kanyang current payout to shareholder, no, nakikita natin na meron siyang payout ratio na 30%, no. So in terms of dividend coverage, with its reasonably low payout ratio na 30.4%, BPI dividend payments are well covered by earnings. Okay, so payout ratio, no, ang meaning nitong payout ratio, ito yung portion ng earnings nila na binibigay sa dividendo. So which is 30% ng earnings nila binibigay sa dividendo. Okay? So, and this is the leadership team of BPI. Nakikita natin dito na yung kanilang president na si Cesar Consing na mayroong tenure sa company na 7.4 years and ownership sa company na 0.059% and nagkakahalaga ng 198.9 million pesos. Okay? The rest of top leadership or leadership team of BPI. Okay? In terms of experience management, BPI management team is seasoned and experienced na mayroong 5.7 years average tenure and average age na 59 years old. As the rest of board member of BPI. Okay? In terms of experience, board of directors are seasoned and experienced because meron silang 11 years of average tenure, no, and average age na sa 72 years old, no. So yung pangunahing dahilan, no, ang pangunahing purpose ng board of directors, ito yung pinapangalagaan yung kapakanan also ng mga shareholders, okay, or yung mga investor ng company. And this is the ownership breakdown of BPI, no. Nakikita natin dito 32.9% owned by public companies, 29.2% owned by institution, 20.4% owned by private companies, 16.3% owned by general public, 0.6% owned by employee share, 0.5% owned by individual insider. Because in terms of dilution of shares, shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted in the past year. Okay? So, sa mga hindi nakakaalam paano meaning ng diluted of share, kapag nag-i-issue, nag-raise ng share ang company, bumababa yung ownership percentage of shareholders or investors. And this is the top shareholders of BPI. So nakikita natin dito, 32.86% owned by Ayala Corporation and nagkakahalaga ng 94.2 billion pesos. And this is the rest of top shareholders of BPI. Ito ang kanila number of employee, no? So in 2019 meron silang employee total na 21,400 employee. So, sobrang dami na kanilang empleyado. Okay, guys? Okay, so alam na natin, no, kung ano meron kay BPI. Alam na natin kung ano yung meron sa kanyang financial. So, dumako na tayo sa intrinsic value ni BPI. So, para makuha natin yon, so kailangan muna natin hanapin yung forecasted net income for 2020 ng company, no? Okay? So, yung first na nahanap natin na forecasted or estimate net income ng BPI for 2020 ay nasa 22 billion pesos net income. Okay? Yung pangalawa, no, ay mayroong 25.1 plus ay mayroong 21.6, no. So based sa tatlo, no, yung pinakamababa na forecasted net income ay ito, no, nasa 21.6 or 21.7 billion pesos net income based sa 11 analysts. Okay, na nahanap natin at nakalap natin. So, ito yung gagamitin natin na net income para makuha yung intrinsic value ng company. So, for second step, hahanapin natin yung average PE ratio ng company for the past 5 years. So, para mahanap yon, no? Para makuha yon, pumunta tayo sa BPI trade. Okay, so nandito tayo sa BPI trade, no? So, yung kanyang PE ratio, nakikita natin, no? So, i-average lang natin tong kanyang PE ratio for the past 5 years. So, yung average PE ratio ni BPI for the past 5 years ay nasa 16.69. Okay? So, ito yung gagamitin natin para makuha yung future market capitalization ng company. So para makuha yung future market capitalization, itong PE ratio ng BPI, ita-times natin siya doon sa ating forecasted net income. Okay, so yung kanyang future market capitalization ni BPI ay nasa 362.29 billion pesos. Okay, so para makuha yung intrinsic value ni BPI, so kung kailangan natin i-divide yung current market capitalization ng company dito sa ating future market capitalization. So para makuha yon, pupunta tayo sa Reuters.com, no? Then scroll down lang natin siya. And mapapasin natin dito yung kanyang market capitalization ngayon ay nasa 286.6 billion pesos market cap. I-divide natin siya doon sa ating future market capitalization natin. Okay guys, so ito yung ating sagot na nakuha, no? So ang gagawin natin, itong ating nakuhang sagot, i-divide natin siya dito sa ating current price ngayon ni BPI. Nasa 63.50 divide sa ating 0.79. So yung nakuha nating intrinsic value kay BPI ngayon ay nasa 80.38, no? Okay? So yung ipapalat natin siya dito, no? So nasa around here yung kanyang intrinsic value ngayon. Okay? So gagawin natin, nakuha na natin yung intrinsic value. So magkakaroon tayo ng margin of safety kay BPI. So para makuha yung margin of safety natin, ita-times lang natin siya sa 0.80 para makuha yung 20% margin of safety ng company. So nasa 64.3. So 64.3. So nasa around here, no? Meaning itong margin of safety, no? Kapag yung current price pumunta sa 64.3 pababa, it is considered a buy ratings alone in terms of intrinsic value kay BPI. Okay guys, so in summary ng ating pag-aaral sa kanya intrinsic value, no? So, yung kanya intrinsic value ngayon ay nasa 80.38 and yung kanya margin of safety ay nasa 64.30. Yung margin of safety natin, ito yung buffer natin doon sa ating intrinsic value. Kumbaga, kapag bumaba, dumating, no? Pumunta sa intrinsic value natin at bumaba dyan, it is considered a buy rating alone in terms of intrinsic value. Okay? And now, yung kanyang current price ay nasa 63.50. So, meron tayong potential upside sa kanya na 21% kapag na-reach yung ating intrinsic value or fair value na 80.38. So, in terms of intrinsic value alone, meron tayong buy rating sa kanya. So, yung summary ng ating pag-aaral kay BPI, no? So, yung red zone na nakita natin sa kanya, there's a high level of non-cash earnings, si BPI. Yung green zone na naman nakita natin sa kanya, the company is currently profitable. Earnings are forecast to grow by an average of 18.2% per year for the next 3 years. Dividend of BPI ay nasa 2.83% is sustainable. Share price has been stable over the past 3 months. Profit margin decreased but not substantially, no? They have sufficient analyst coverage. No concerning event detected. Shareholders have not been meaningfully diluted in the past year or recently. Revenue is meaningful, market cap is meaningful. Okay? So, sa pag-aaral ng company at pagre-review, no, magkakaroon tayo ng idea ng kanyang strength and weaknesses and magkakaroon tayo ng matibay na pundasyon, re-review natin ng company na gusto natin pasukan. Kasi napaka-importante, no, guys, na bago tayo mag-invest sa company na gusto nating pasukan ng perang pinaghirapan natin, dapat inaalam muna natin, no, kung worth it ba yung company na paglalagyan natin ng pera. Okay, guys? And then dapat, alam din natin, no, kung saan tayo bibili. Alam natin kung ano yung fair value ng company. And syempre, kapag alam na natin, bibili tayo doon sa discounted price ng company. Kasi sabi nga ni Warren Buffett na price is what you pay, value is what you get. So ito lang muna guys yung ating analysis kay BPI ngayon. And maraming salamat guys sa inyong suporta sa channel natin. Kasi ang dami ko na re-receive na message, comment, no? Yung iba hindi ko na nababasa yung iba, no? So sobrang dami. And maraming request na stocks. So hopefully gagawa natin ng paraan para ma-analyze natin yan lahat na request nyo. So, maraming salamat sa suporta, and as always, invest wisely and see you on the other side. Hello guys, maraming salamat sa panonood. Sana marami kayo natutunan sa video na to. So kung hindi pa kayo nakaka-subscribe, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell para updated kayo sa mga videos na parating at marami pa kayong matututunan sa channel na ito. So maraming salamat. This is PSE Warrior saying, trade well, trade strong, and trade smart.